My name is Overlord Moon, and I am a MoonGuard survivor. I can't take myself seriously. Hey guys, welcome back. It's me. I'm here with a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience on MoonGuard. I've played on MoonGuard for about a year and a half, something like that. And here is my experience. Yes, we got furries. Yes, we got Erpers. I've since moved to Tichondrish, so I'm currently not a MoonGuard resident anymore, but I just figured I'd talk about what it's like over there, because I know a lot of you think of the Goldshire Inn as sort of the collective community that's on MoonGuard. And while you're not completely far off, there is a little bit of other stuff to it that I think you should know. So this all started when I was on Corielstraz, and I was playing my Restoration Druid. Those of you who know me know that I'm from Florida, and I thought it was really cool that I had joined an all-Florida guild that went by specific name. I'm not going to name it because I don't have a lot of good things to say about it, but yeah, it was a disaster. We had officers boosting guild members. Our average eye level was 472, and ideally, while we should have been pushing mythic rating, we had guild members that just could not complete normal Nyalotha. It wasn't even the fact that it was hard, it's the fact that I had to explain to a mage player what the spell Ice Block did. It was a mess, but at least the people there were somewhat friendly. And then it quickly delved into weird stalking stuff, and when I tried to question the guild officers about what was going on, they tried to sweep it under the rug, and that was, at that point, I knew I had to make a change. I met this guy in LFG. He was a pretty swell fellow. He was a windwalker. Goes by the name Laredre. The best part is that Zach is going to be watching this video too. So anyways, I meet a guy named Zach, and he was a pretty swell fellow. We were in a Mythic Plus together. We were in LFG, and we had a Brazilian tank that couldn't speak English and also couldn't tank. But I was asking around. I was like, hey, like, what's MoonGuard like? And he's like, you know, we're getting ready to build up for Shadowlands. Y'all should come check us out. So having that guild blow up, and it's since disintegrated. I know some of the officers went and did their own thing, but most of the people stopped playing the game. I decided to pull the trigger and swap to MoonGuard without knowing a single thing of what it was like. So the guild that I joined was, and I'll go ahead and name it. It's Bad Callouts, was the guild that Zach ended up owning, and it was a pretty awesome guild. It was pretty laid back. A lot of us were in our early 20s. There are some folks who are a little bit older than that, but most of us were in our early 20s, and we like to just, you know, kick back, have fun, stir up some trouble, maybe make some edgy remarks and piss off some people, but it was all in good fun. It was all in good trolling, and it was a great time. When Shadowlands came around, we decided to take the guild a little bit more seriously and actually started trying in some content, and to our surprise, we were doing pretty well. I think we were ranked 6th on the server at the time in Castle Nathria for rating. But the biggest shocker was that we were first in PvP. And it dawned on me that the vast majority of people on MoonGuard don't play any other forms of content at all. A lot of them are just on there. They pay $15 a month to play a text-based roleplay adventure. But, you know, spend your money how you like. I'm not one to judge. You earned it. You know, I dump my money on Fiji water because that's just something I do. So it's interesting. The overall culture there, MoonGuard is a realm that is community-centric, and even though Goldshire is full of a bunch of degenerates, it's not all that way. So you've got the inn itself. So if you go inside Lion's Pride Inn, that is where you will find, once you go in, you're gonna come out needing therapy. That's all I'm gonna say. You've got all the Fudo role players, you've got the furry role players, you've got people who actually make a bunch of gold doing ERP requests. A lot of very sad, horny people that are trying to, well, do very sad, horny things within a game, and probably need more socialization, but again, you know, you do you. And for some reason, it's always packed if you have war mode off. If you have war mode on, nobody actually does PvP on MoonGuard, so yeah, it's you'll get a much better experience if you're leveling through that server. I'll say that for certain. But the thing is, outside of the Lion's Pride Inn directly in Goldshire, you've got a lot of just casual roleplay going on. A lot of people shooting the shit. In fact, behind Inn, closer to Northshire, you have a group of dedicated PvP players, a lot of gladiators. I know there's some really cool folks like Kerrigan that are over there. And they're all just chilling on their glad mounts, waiting for games, talking with. And then you've got Stormwind itself. So Stormwind itself is packed. MoonGuard is a full server. A lot of people do transfer over to get that good old-fashioned roleplay experience. I did decide to try roleplay myself. I was like, you know what? I will just get involved in the culture. I'm all about learning about new cultures. Let me learn about MoonGuard because boy, does it have its own culture. And we met a friend that joined our guild sort of casually. Her name was Jackie. I love Jackie. She's so sweet. But Jackie ended up telling me everything I needed to know about roleplay. Everything about what the hell a walk-up is, what the hell total roleplay was, how to set up a character, types of people to avoid, mainly Death Knights and Demon Hunters, and also some places that you should look out for when you're traveling about in Stormwind on MoonGuard. So I guess within some of the taverns itself, within the basement, there's a lot of epic roleplay that happens there, and it's probably not the best place to go. But if you're just walking about in Stormwind, particularly the Mage Quarter, you'll find some good people there to just strike up a conversation with and really delve into the whole character aspect of. The thing that makes MoonGuard so unique is that there's a variety of people with all different knowledge and experience when it comes to roleplay, and almost all of them are mentally ill in some form or another. So you get this awkwardness about it at first. There's a lot of people who will be really like a lore snob, and they won't roleplay with you unless your profile's like the most perfect thing. Or people that will develop this sort of parasocial relationship with you because you're role-playing with them in character and they become way too attached to their character. I had another friend, Jaden. We ended up running this sort of roleplay guild together. We thought it was a great idea to get all the misfits together and have like a traveling circus guild. You start to realize why people are misfits on MoonGuard if they can't get into a roleplay. Probably because they're really weird. Weirdness aside, there were some surprisingly good moments that I did have. There were some people who just walked up to me and we had a good conversation, or some people who were more experienced in roleplay offering me some legitimate and kind and compassionate advice on how I could improve my own character and what I could do to better use my character to tell a story, how to really get people involved and engaged. And as somebody who really does love to write and loves to develop characters and loves to sort of work with this collaborative story, kind of like if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, it's fantastic. I had an honestly great time role-playing. Unfortunately, that experience, it can be diminished by a lot of the weird people on MoonGuard, and I do believe there are a lot of them that just legitimately are weird, but some people are really awesome. The thing is with myself that I transitioned to Tichondrius for was at the time, cross-faction wasn't a thing, and I wanted to PvP. So I did play as Alliance, you know, don't let this jacket deceive you. I played Alliance for 13 years before I came out as a Horde player, and I'm overall pretty familiar with the Alliance experience, at least in like Stormwind and all the major cities and that stuff. Something else I've learned is that if there's two people out in the wild and they both have total roleplay sheets, which you can tell if you hover over them with the add-on, they're probably engaging in some epic roleplay, and probably not a good idea if you don't want to receive any trauma to approach those people and try to see what they're up to. The cool thing about MoonGuard too is that there's a semblance of pride within its members. I know I'd be in like a battleground and I'll be in a 5-stack of people from my old guild. We would run into like another 5-stack from MoonGuard and we would be like, oh, you know, hey, what's up guys? And then we would stomp the opponents and then log on to like a Horde tune and whisper them, ah, you just got stomped by a bunch of like MoonGuard furries or whatnot. My overall experience of MoonGuard is that it's a great community. A lot of these people have things wrong with them that they should probably get some help for. And there are still a lot of degenerates on the server. If you dare step in the inn, all I can say is that I warned you. So, like I said, I'm not going to delve too much into my guild on MoonGuard. I feel like that's its own separate video. But needless to say, I had a fantastic time for a year and a half that I was there. And it's a very different experience being on Tichondrius, where everybody's in a really try-hard, either like a raiding or a PvP guild. It's actually interesting because I literally applied to a guild and I said that, you know, I was really into arenas, I had a, you know, decently high rating, and I was wanting to play semi-hardcore. And they declined my guild app. Like, Tichondrius people are just so... They really do have a stick up their ass when it comes to content. And MoonGuard, I feel like that's the equivalent of that, but like, oh, if you don't know your lore, then people will have a stick up their ass. That's really all that I wanted to talk about regarding the MoonGuard scene in general. If you did like the video, tell me your experience on MoonGuard, and also who's your therapist and what's their rate. Anyways, that being said, my name's Overlord Moon, and I'll see you in the next one.